everybody, it's me today. Going to read you chapters 14 and 15. Just wanted to say hi, let you know that I missed you. Hope you're all keeping really well. So here we go. Chapter 14, Cheese. My mom gets home from school early, and when she walks in the door, she's carrying 2 big bags of groceries. Rehearsals are going great, so I let everyone have the day off. I thought I'd make us dinner, she enthuses. She adds, I feel like I've been neglecting you lately, Ellie. She spends the rest of the afternoon in the kitchen, and when we go in for dinner, it looks like a tornado hit the place. Dirty bowls and measuring cups are piled in the sink, and flour is all over the counter. She must have used every single pot in the house. Dinner is served, she announces, and places our plates in front of us with a flourish. There's a breaded, fried, patty-like thing lying in the middle of each plate, and next to it some singed asparagus. My grandfather and I both take a bite. So, my mom asks, what do you think? It's mushy with a weird texture and has way too much pepper. My grandfather makes a face. What is this supposed to be? Fried eggplant, she says. His answer is decisive. Nope, don't like it. She looks at me. Do you like it? I shake my head. Her shoulders sag in defeat. The eggplant goes in the trash, and we order Chinese. My grandfather and I are in the kitchen the next day after school, and he's complaining about my mother's cooking. If she had paid as much attention to chemistry as she did to this theater nonsense, she'd be a good cook, he says. He exaggerates the word theater, so it sounds like theater. Chemistry? What does that have to do with anything? He looks at me. Cooking is science. It is. It's always seemed so arty to me. It's all basic chemistry, he says. In fact, science has its fingerprints all over the kitchen. He opens the refrigerator and takes out a block of cheese and waves it. Louis Pasteur discovered a way to kill bacteria in drinks, pasteurization or heating at high temperatures. It was practically a miracle at the time, and that's why we can drink milk and eat cheese without getting sick. I had no idea that cheese was a miracle. I like to cook, I tell him. Of course you do, he says, as if it's perfectly obvious. You take after me. Maybe I do take after him. He claps his hands. Let's make dinner. What should we make, I ask. Most of my recipes are breakfast-oriented. He looks in the refrigerator and then goes to the green wooden recipe box on the windowsill above the sink. The recipe box belongs to my grandmother. Sometimes when my grandmother had a bad day, she'll pull out the little red cards and read them. She says she just likes to look at her mom's handwriting. My grandfather ticks through the recipes with a critical eye and then pulls one out. Ah, yes, this will do nicely, he says. I look at the recipe card. It has stains on it like it's been used a lot. In perfect loopy cursive, it reads, Coq au vin, Melvin's favorite. He adds, and it's French, like Louis Pasteur. The only French food I've ever eaten is French fries, I confess. You can't go wrong with French food, he assures me. It's the best cuisine in the world. We settle in the kitchen counter, working side by side. He's a very tidy cook, and he cleans up as he goes along, just like me. He shows me how to cut the carrots, how to brown the chicken with bacon, how to combine everything and simmer with red wine. I start to see how the kitchen is kind of like a laboratory. The glass bowls, the measuring spoons, the glass flame on a stove is like a Bunsen burner. And when you think about it, even cooks' white aprons are similar to the white coats that scientists wear. And maybe there's also a little magic in cooking, taking all the plain old ingredients and turning them into comfort and memory. Because when my mom walks in the door, she sniffs the air expectantly. Something smells wonderful, she says. We cooked dinner, I say. My grandfather holds out a plate to her. Is that? She starts to ask. My grandfather finishes her sentence. Your mother's coq au vin. He takes a bite and her face turns up in a smile. It tastes exactly the way I remember it, she murmurs. His eyes shine. Yes, he says. Chapter 15, Lab Assistant. My grandfather's in the bathroom. He likes to take a book with him, and sometimes he'll stay in there for an hour. My mom has started to jokingly call it his office. The doorbell rings, so I answer it. I don't know who I'm expecting to see, but it certainly isn't Raj. Hey, Ellie, he says. He's wearing his usual black outfit. I smile back weakly. Hi. We stand there for a minute. Raj shifts on his feet. So, are you going to invite me in? I stand back. Sure. Come on in. He walks into our foyer and looks around the hallway. Is Melvin home? Confusion floods me. You're here to see Melvin? Before he can answer, the toilet flushes and my grandfather emerges from the bathroom. You're late, my grandfather informs him. Yo, Dr. Sigarsky, he says. I'm dumbfounded. You told him? I ask my grandfather. Why not? My grandfather waves a hand in at Raj's earring. Who'd believe him anyways? I almost didn't believe it, Raj admits, but it's amazing what you can find on the internet. He holds out a piece of paper. It's a printout of an old newspaper article. It says Fresno boy wins Central Valley Science Fair. Next to the article is a photo of my grandfather with the caption, Melvin Sigarsky, age 15. He looks exactly like he does now, except with a crew cut. I think I like you better with short hair, Raj says to my grandfather. Try being bald for 30 years and see how fast you cut your hair when you get it back, my grandfather says. By the way, did you know you have a fan club in Finland? My grandfather preens. They have t-shirts now. I saw that, Raj says. I'll buy one when they come in black. Let's get to work, my grandfather says. Work? I echo. He hires me, Raj answers. I turn to my grandfather. You're paying him? My grandfather looks unconcerned. I have plenty of money. Start saving now. Compound interest is a wonderful thing. But why him? He has all the qualifications I require in a lab assistant. Oh, I say, and feel oddly hurt. I thought I was a lab assistant. Raj gives me an ironic smile. An older brother with a car. My grandfather has a plan to get into Building 24, and it feels like it's straight out of a spy movie. We'll go at night when there are fewer people around, just a few lab assistants running experiments, and the security guard, of course, but my grandfather has not covered this time. Raj will ring the front bell to create a diversion. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Raj will ring the front bell to create a diversion. While the security guard is distracted, my grandfather will use his key card to get in the back door and grab the T. Melvinus. Raj's brother will drive the getaway car. It's a perfect plan, my grandfather says, and it's much easier than taking all those buses. He picks a night when my mother has late rehearsals, so she won't know about our criminal activity. I'm holed up in my bedroom looking at microscopic photos of bacteria on the internet. I want to learn more about the whole cheese thing. Bacteria are strangely beautiful. Some are cylindrical, some are coiled, some are spheres. They have impressive names. Escherichia coli, Bacillus megaterium, Hectobacterix pylori. There's even a bacterium named after Pasteur, Pasteurella multiocida. I think about my grandfather and the jellyfish and feel a little jealous. I kind of want something named after me. My bedroom door slams open and my grandfather is standing there dressed head to toe in black. He's raided my mother's closet and is wearing her favorite black t-shirt and a black leather jacket from her punk phase in college. Even his legs are in black. Are those Mom's leggings? I ask him. Is that what they're called? He hurries me along. Time to go. Our ride is here. A car is idling at the curb. Raj's brother behind the wheel. We get in, and Raj introduces everyone. This is my brother, Anandad, Raj says. This is Melvin and Ellie. Anandad just nods and cranks on the radio. By the way, Raj says, I have to be home by 9:30. It's a school night. This shouldn't take long, my grandfather says, holding up a picnic cooler. We'll just grab the T. Melvinus and go. The trip is a lot faster than taking the bus. When we arrive at Building 24, there's only one car in the lot. We cruise by and then park down the street. My grandfather hands a ski mask to Raj and pulls one over his head. Seriously? Raj asks. They have security cameras, you know. Great, Raj mutters. They take off into the darkness, and Anandad and I sit in silence, listening to the radio. His eyes meet mine in the rearview mirror. Do you do this sort of thing a lot? He asks me. Just once before, I tell him. We don't have to wait long. My grandfather and Raj run up to the car and jump in. Drive! My grandfather shouts and we take off. Did you get it? I ask my grandfather. We couldn't even get in, he barks. Raj looks at me. His key card doesn't work anymore. They must have deactivated it. My grandfather grumbles the whole way home, and when they drop us off, Raj leans out the window and calls to my grandfather, You still have to pay me. The next morning, my mother asks, Have you seen my black leggings? I can't find them anywhere. Check with Grandpa, I tell her. She narrows her eyes. I don't even want to know. So that's the end of chapter 15. Take care, everybody. See you soon.